Hey, this is Elektron, and today I'm going to talk about the two best plugins for EDM, and while I'm explaining, I'm going to use them to make a cool little house drop, because that's what I feel like doing today. I feel like making something. So, I'm going to talk about them, kind of explain why they are the best at doing what they do, and I'm going to make something cool. So, let's get right to it. So, I'm going to waste no time. The two best plugins are Splice and XFER Serum. So Splice looks like this. It's kind of a little helper here, and although it's not really considered a plugin, it works just like a plugin. It's right in the interface, communicates well with the interface no matter what you're using, no matter which DAW you're using, communicates really well, and it speeds up the workflow so incredibly perfectly. So that's what I would have to say about Splice. So as I use it, I will explain more about it. So this is XFER Serum, and the cool part about XFER Serum, I'll explain briefly, is that it really can produce any single synth sound you've ever heard in any song. It can produce that sound, or it can produce any synth sound you probably have in your brain. It's just too powerful. It's nothing really holds it back. The amount of functionality you get out of each individual module, so oscillator A would be a module, the amount of functionality you get out of it is just unreal. Analog synthesizers do not even touch the functionality of this anymore. And of course the effects rack is just insane, and then they have the whole matrix and so on and so forth, and then they have all of this stuff here. All this stuff combined, even though I can't really, it'll be tough to really explain everything because there's just too much to explain about it. To sum it up, it can make any synth sound, anything you hear. Other synths can't make the wide array of sounds that this can. And then Splice.com will make doing any sort of drums or any sort of effect samples easy and fast. When you're making something like a drum loop, you want the workflow to be fast and easy, and obviously a wide variety of samples to choose from. And you can literally, there's no limit to how many samples you can download from Splice. And what a sample is either an effect or a drum loop, a synth loop, anything. And it has way more than that. You can even download projects from Splice. One-click download, one-click open, and you can open projects. It just makes everything so easy. So for the remainder of this video, what I'm going to do is, I thought it would be really cool to just use these two plugins, and that'll give you an idea of workflow. That'll give you an idea of how they work and how they communicate with the DAW, and so on and so forth. So let's get to it. Let's set our BPMs to 128 and make something sick. I'm just in that mood to make a banger lately, and I feel like, having fun doing that. So right here is just a long list of all of the samples that I've downloaded from Splice.com. How it works is you go to Splice.com, you search for something like a kick. It gives you an option to pick from over 200,000 kicks, and you click your favorite kick and download it. So let's see all the kicks that I downloaded. Nice. These trap kicks are pretty insane, but we're not making a trap song today. We are going, it's just a classical EDM day. So I need a house kick. I like this one, this dead mouse kick, even though it's a little too many people use it for my liking. I just use it anyway. So that's the one issue with Splice, is a lot of people have the same samples because a lot of people use Splice, so you have to really work around the samples that everybody uses by going to the less popular samples and downloading them. But that's alright. This kick I really didn't feel like searching through the underground kicks and just took this kick because it sounded good. Usually the kicks that sound, you know, really good and kind of like the best, they're the kicks that everybody is gonna have, and but that's all right. We could get past that. So I got my kick here. As you saw, it was easy to just pull up Splice and then drag in the kick. And these are all kicks here that I've downloaded. So I'm going to use Serum now to make a nice bass line. Let's come into Serum. So with Serum, it's already a default setting that's showing. I think that's the best part about Serum. Just speeds up the workflow a little bit. No other synth does that. I wish other synths did that. So I have a sub oscillator on. That sub oscillator sounds like this. And let's go to envelope 2, load up the filter, sub, and get a nice little pluck going here. Cool. That sounds pretty sweet. Let's see if I could get that kind of hidden layer of what do you call it, sub bass kind of working with this, but not against it. So I'm gonna like lengthen all these up here and try to get a more consistent sub bass, because when you're laying sub bass, it's just no other way about it. It just sounds best when it's consistent. When it's really like kind of spacey like these notes are, it won't be too fun to listen to. So especially with sub bass, because it's more of something you feel rather than hear, it's easy to like kind of sneak it in there sometimes. Alright, so let's get this one more of a perfect little sub by lengthening it. I'm going to use this filter here. Oh, that's nice. That's like a Kygo bass. Sorry, it's not Kygo. But I want to come here and use a EQ to kind of cut this out of the way, this high harmonic bass here. And when I cut high harmonic basses, it's usually around up to 140 hertz. Nice. And then I could track stack these and mix them with the kick, and that will go something like this. I have a track stack, and I'll take a nice sidechain plugin. You could either use a synthesizer or something like Nicky Romero's Kickstart. Looks like here my bass was already kind of doing its own thing away from the kick, so this is kind of not needed, but let's just use it anyway. And if I could get more sub bass kind of leaking, I'll go for that. I want to open up that release, see if I can get any leak through. Like that. See how it's kind of leaking? And then, of course, you would want to hit mono legato just so it doesn't cross over itself. Kind of sounds like bass reverb. Alright, so let's use Splice now and get some claps. These are claps that I've downloaded. I already have so many here that I'm not going to go on to Splice and download a clap. I have all trap claps, but cool thing about EDM is you can make that work. That actually sounds dope. I love that, how that works like that. And this is what I love about Splice and Serum, is they just flow. You team both of them up, you literally make a hit with both of those, and that's it. Because Splice will give you anything you need, any tool you need, including Serum. It'll even give you Serum. So if you zoom in, you see my kick is right behind the transient of that clap, and that is on purpose. I'm going to come into this clap and just kind of smash it a little bit. I don't do this all the time because sometimes it sounds really bad. Sidechain a little bit. Alright, and let's get some kind of hi-hat. I might have to download another hi-hat. Yeah, let's go get another hi-hat from splice.com. Alright, so here we are on splice.com, and we are on the sounds section of Splice, and this is where you search for any desired sound, like a hi-hat. Press search, and it'll give you the connect you with all of the hi-hats in its database. And we can even narrow our search by coming here. Let's go to closed and obviously hats. And now it'll give us a bunch of closed hi-hats. Look, it'll give me 1,188 hi-hats to choose from. I never take hi-hats from the first page because that's where everybody goes. So I'll just pick a random page like 20. This one is like so perfect. I didn't even have to go through a million to find that. Oh, that was nice too. Hate that one. Hate that one. Oh, yo, this one is nice. Cool. So I got 3 new hi-hats just by coming over here and clicking this download thing. And now when I open up my little wizard, see, here's the 3 hi-hats I just downloaded. Isn't that so easy? I'm going to take this in and see if this one works nicely. And basically I'm going to do something like that. Since this track stack only has the side chaining going on there, I'm going to move this up here. Unless I have this track stack kind of affecting the bass like it is a bass, then I wouldn't be able to throw this closed hi-hat up in there. Cool. So now what I'm going to do is kind of make that extra hi-hat that's in the background. And I'll show you what I mean. It's kind of like the driver hi-hat, but it is kind of like a background. So this is a sampler, and basically I've loaded up some Splice samples into it in the past, and I'm gonna go into those splice samples, and so here's a hi-hat that I've taken from splice and loaded into the sampler so I can write it into some MIDI notes. So if we have 4 hi-hats, what I like to do is start them up at the highest volume and differentiate some of them. Let's get some Nicky Romero kickstart. So obviously I like to get a lot of movement going on with those hi-hats. As you can see, if they were all the same velocity, or in other words, the same color, like if they were all red, it wouldn't sound as good as they do. And that kickstart makes them pump, so obviously that's pretty cool too. And then with hi-hats, I make them a little more special by adding chorus to them. Kind of makes them sound pretty sick. So let's go into here. So now I want to get those. Alright, so now I want to get those extra shots in there, like those extra snares and toms that are in the background, just kind of doing weird things. And I need to go on Splice, get me some toms, because I don't think I have a good selection of toms to, you know, look through. Let's go here, let's go to page like 50, and grab a nice tom. Let's take this one because that one just sounds weird and cool. Ouch, that kind of hurt my ears. Sound of tom. This is a great tom. This one will work. Alright, let's try those toms. So for these, I'm gonna come into another instance of the EXS24 sampler, and watch how easy this is. I'm just gonna open it on up. I'm gonna select no instrument, because if you leave it on that instrument, it'll ruin all the other instances of that instrument. Let's go to no instrument, edit, and then let's go to our new toms, like that. You can take that, slide in there, and now this tom is playable on my MIDI keyboard. Like that. So now I got a nice tom. let's take this there, and when I'm laying down those kind of extra percussions, what I like to do is layer one of them at least. So I'll layer the middle guy here with something that sounds like it should be layered with it. So let's go here and maybe take, I don't know, like I'm thinking like a hi-hat or another kind of tom, or maybe vocal chop. Let's take the vocal chop and see if we can do this. Alright, and now I'm going to lay one more thing down. I'm going to use the good old Serum. Well, I could probably lay down a couple things here, but let's just use Serum and lay down some kind of drone. Now let me show you what a drone is. I'm just going to make some kind of really airy thing here, and let's just go to the amp envelope and make it some kind of little pluck like that. And I'm going to go to the filter. And this is actually really cool. This is my favorite thing to do. Let me just make sure I got the key right by running this through the comfortable note. Let's take that. It's probably the slowest, most inefficient way you can ever make an ARP. Like that. But what I like to do with these watch this. Let's go into Serum. Whoops. Go into Serum. I just turned it off because I'm moving too fast. Let's go and do the effects and the reverb, and I like to put it all the way up. And I like to go to my EQ. You can use the Logic EQ, but I'm trying to stop using it because I've been using it for so long. I just feel like using something else. Let's go to this. try to shorten these up so I could get more emphasis on those last couple of notes. These are pretty tough sometimes. And there you go, guys. That is a nice little house drop that I made with Serum and Splice. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you took any value from it, please give me a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel. Go check out my new single on SoundCloud that I did with Lauren Panic. Go follow my new Instagram at AlexRomeSound, and of course stay tuned for more awesome stuff. Peace out.